everyone. How you guys doing? Hello everyone. How are you guys doing? Just going to give it a few minutes before all of you join me. And I know the timing is a bit weird, so I might not have many of y'all joining me, but I know a lot of y'all will be watching this pre-recorded. I see one viewer. Show me that you are here, guys, and tell me how has your week been, and show me some reaction to show that you are all present. Hi, Karen. Good morning. I know it's 1 a.m. in in US, Canada right now. Hi, Bharati. I'm having a lovely day. Thank you. I hope you are having a lovely day too. I thought today's topic would really be relevant because a lot of you divine feminines are being affected by 3D triggers, which is completely all right. Hi, Megan. How are you? I see. Oh, that's good. That's good. Guys, show me some reaction. Show me that you're here. All right, before we start, let's catch up. Energetically, it has been quite a swing. You may be feeling a lot triggered by your divine masculine. And of course, for divine masculines, it has been really weird because they have been trying to show that everything is normal. So there's a lot of pretense going on. So you may find your DM like posting on social media showing that he's extremely happy, he's having a wonderful time in his life. But all that you see is not real. All that you feel is also not real. What you perceive is also not real. The truth is, what is happening, you will only know when you are truly tuned into that pure vibration of this twin flame connection. Megan, tired, grumpy, and hungry, I can imagine. Working overnight. Of course, of course. But I'm so glad you guys are all here. I know it's just a change of time. I'm in Germany for work, so hence I was trying to do my usual time, but then I realized I was too sleepy. It's autumn now, and I think the most I could stay awake would be like till like 12 a.m. So yes, I thought I would try a new timing. So, how are things with the Mercury retrograde? I think things have all been, you know, things have been really interesting. For some twin flames, the Mercury retrograde has been quite good to them. For some, it has been very confusing, and for some, they are totally in angry mode. Not angry mode per se, but more of that yearning to be together in the physical has surpassed what is happening. Thanks, Megan. MERS RX was a kick in the ladies' balls at first, but it seems to have balanced out. That's interesting. Oh dear, I realized this timing. I know it's a weird timing for everywhere. In Europe, it's too early. In the US, it's too late. I think this timing works best in like Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore because it's a noon time. But anyway, I will still do my discourse as per usual. All right. So it is new moon today as well. So happy new moon to all of you. And new moon in Mercury retrograde can be quite interesting because hello Belinda. Belinda says hello to everyone. Therese, good morning from Sweden. Oh, good morning to you too. I'm actually in Munich for work, so good morning from Munich to all of you. How have y'all been? For those of y'all who just joined in, yeah, I was just explaining. Apologies for the drastic change in timing because I was trying to follow my old timing, but then I realized it would be past midnight. MJ, so happy to see you. And guys, MJ and I once again are bringing you this lovely, lovely life. As much as I don't try not to, but I thought that this topic was very, very necessary because these 3D triggers are extremely real, and it is okay to feel the way you're feeling, you know. But you would realize something is that it gets better by the day. Like example, how you had reacted 2 years ago to now would be completely different. You'll be more in zen, you'll be more in peace, which means you can see what your DM is doing in 3D or feeling in 3D and be completely calm about it. And that's when you realize that you are in that stage of evolution where you're truly free. So, why do these triggers happen? They come from this yearning to actually be with your twin. So that's why there's that trigger, you're getting all worked up. It's not even because your DM is having fun with his friends or having a ball of a time in his life. It's more like you are not part of it, and that's completely normal and okay to feel that way. What is important is that you acknowledge it, you you feel the pain, and then you look at how you can deal with it in a very strategic manner. So often you may feel like, okay, let's use an example for the sake of context. So, for example, you are going on with your life and then you see something on social media and you're wondering, oh no, what is happening? And okay, and it could just be a picture of your twin with his friends having a drink. But why would that trigger you? Firstly, you should be happy, right? That your twin is having a good time and he's fine, he's feeling really good enough to post. But at the same time, you're still triggered and worked up by it. That's why I'm saying that it is really, really, really interesting because it is not the picture or it's not the video or it's not your twin having fun that is affecting you. But like what I had said, you not being part of that moment is what's affecting you. And hey, Kelly, good to see you. Much love to all. It's just gone 1:15 p.m. I'm having a lazy Sunday still in bed. Oh, I'm glad. I think this timing works for those of you who stay up late. So that's good. So yeah, I'm talking about triggers in 3D and why it really affects the divine feminine. Okay, so this is not only limited to like seeing your DM in social media, it could be seeing your DM in person as well. And the you may feel the trigger because innately you're yearning to be with your twin in the physical, which is really good. That's why I always, Karen, that is amazing. That's what I always tell my divine feminines is that the first thing you can try to do is not look at his social media, but often social media is the only form of contact for some twins, like to see what's going on. Secondly, you um hearing about him from someone else, that, he's having a ball of a time, he's doing really well. That is a trigger as well. And then moving from that, um, there's also another major trigger that happens is fear that he's really happy without me. Like, what if he doesn't need me in his presence anymore? I'm seeing all of my regulars. That's wonderful, Belinda. I don't follow any of my twin social media. It would trigger me way too much. Yes, it will trigger you. And that's why this video is about those who already get triggered and how you could get less triggered. And for those of you, and for others, you don't even know what is happening with your twin. And that in itself is a trigger. But sometimes ignorance, ignorance is better than knowledge, in some circumstances. Hi, Linda. Hi to everyone. Okay, so this trigger in itself is not limited to just social media. This trigger happens for everything. If you notice, for any other connections, you might not get quite triggered. Or if you get quite triggered, you'll be able to move on quite quickly. But why is it in a twin flame journey, the trigger is so massive that it affects you for days and days? And if you notice, the trigger is not only limited to non non in physical actions, but it's also anything your twin says is a trigger as well. And always, often, there's a misinterpretation as well. Yes, Belinda, ignorance is bliss, but at the same time, you don't want to be too ignorant of what's going on. So, yeah. So, back to the trigger in itself. Like the trigger. So, I wanted to do this topic because I wanted you guys to actually go into the trigger and why you get triggered in the first place. You see, triggers happen for a variety of reasons. It's not even the event that triggers you, it is who you are at present and the experiences that you have had in the past that has shaped you to the point of the present that causes you to feel the trigger. For instance, you see, you hear something about your twin and then you get really triggered. That is one scenario. Or your twin says something and you get really triggered. That is another scenario. But for both scenarios, one thing in common is that you are triggered. And where does the trigger come from? The trigger actually comes from unhealed trauma, unhealed pain while you were growing up, and past lives. But the triggers are really fresh because often it is present life trauma, going back to what happened in your childhood. For instance, you felt that you did not have the attention of your parents, or you felt like in school you were not heard, or you would feel like everyone else is having fun but you're not included. So it's more of fear of missing out, FOMO, in other words. So that is one angle to look at it. So the trigger comes from unhealed traumas, and unhealed traumas is something that you often is one of those hardest things to recognize and deal with. And that goes back to a wider topic that is healing in itself, which I did talk about a couple of weeks back. But in today's topic, we're going to focus on how these unhealed traumas have an effect on your day-to-day life and why it causes massive trigger. So your next question would be, then why is it that with other people I don't get affected? Because with other people or other relationships, you are not even going deep into the connection to begin with. It's very surface level. It's so surface level that you realize that you can live with the other person even without healing your traumas. But with your twin flame, it's kind of like you have to reach a point where you are healed of all your traumas, you are balanced energetically, and you're at a point where nothing affects you anymore. That's when inner union happens, and then that eventually externalizes to 3D physical union. So, another reason for these triggers are also because of fear that this is it, your twin is never coming back. Because for a lot of divine feminines or twin flames who are in separation, there is no anchor, there is no way of knowing what is going to happen. And at most you get some guidance from psychic readings, but besides that you don't really know what is going to happen, and things are changing constantly at a speed that is way beyond your control. So that's why often you might be feeling, what am I even doing? Why am I even in this journey? Does this even matter? Should I just move on? You see, moving on and being with someone else has its repercussions as well. And that is what happened to the old group of twin flames. What happened with the old group of twin flames is that they met their twin at a very young age, and then there was a separation, and then both of them ended up marrying other partners, and they're all breaking out of those karmic cycles, and are uniting with their twins at present. But then I'm talking about the new twin flames who have just met their twins for the first time. It can be really, really tempting. It can be extremely tempting to move on and be with someone else. And of course, each and every one of y'all deserve love, and each and every one of y'all are meant to be in a loving relationship, loving, caring, kind relationship. And often, when that is what you put out to the universe, you do attract a soulmate. In some circumstances, if you have ongoing cycles or karmic connections, that person might turn up. But for some, right now, with the new generation of twin flames, they do not bring in much karma because some come in with a clean slate. So they are not going to have that karmic partner per se. So they may be in this dilemma as to what to do. Should I just wait for my twin, or should I move on to someone else, or should I just endure this suffering and live like that forever? The thing is, it is only suffering because that is how you are looking at it. The suffering in itself comes from, again, a variety of triggers. Number one is that fear of not being with anyone. Number two, societal pressures, the constant societal pressure to be with someone in order to live your life. Number three, being judged for not being with anyone. Because obviously, you won't be able to explain this twin flame journey to your family or friends because they're going to just think that you're obsessed. And number four, it's like a gamble. Should I put all my eggs into this basket? But you see, if you are viewing it in this way, union with your twin flame is never going to happen. Hi, Priya. So happy to catch you live too. So happy to see you. Belinda, I'm one of the old twin flames, yes. But you know what? Things are going well for you, and you guys are so close to union. Megan, now that Animal and I are on the same pool lake team, things are probably going to get on. Wow, that's amazing. Anyway, back to the topic and the different triggers and need that makes you entangle yourself in another connection. These happened quite naturally 20 years ago. Firstly, there wasn't much content about twin flames online that was available. There weren't communities like that because there was no internet 20 years ago. But now things are changing and there's more awareness. And now the younger generation, or the present trend, is to actually go with the flow with how you feel, which means not to make any drastic decisions. You see, there are plenty of fish available. That is the truth. And now dating has become so much more easier than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or 50 years ago, even. But the thing is, there are also a lot of dangers and traps too. So you don't want to just delve into the dating world, because as much as it is easy to get someone, you might not find someone who is genuine and stable either. But again, you have to look at yourself. Why are you trying to run away from your twin? And often, a lot of divine feminine says, "Oh, I'm the chaser. I am the one who is chasing my DM." But actually, the truth is, you are the runner. You are running away from yourself. You're running away from dealing with your own issues. That's why it's a big part of the journey. You do not you're not able to face yourself. And this is what the twin flame journey does to you. It forces you to face yourself. It forces you to face who you are on a divine energetic level. Having said that, if you really, really focus, it goes down to your choice as well. Because nothing is written in stone. You know, okay, this is how it works. When most twin flames incarnate on earth, they come with 50-60% preordained destiny, which they write themselves, and they leave 40% to free will, or to adjust things according to how they are when they're on earth. So you always have control to change your future and impact your circumstances. So there are some twin flames who had union in the cards, but then it's their poor choices that has gotten them to be off path. For instance, like example, before coming to earth, they had already decided, "Oh, I'm going to be with my twin flame at the age of 28," and everything is set. But then at the age of 28, they did not put into account the childhood traumas they might have incurred, the teenhood traumas they might have incurred, or the pressures of society, because all of this is not predictable from there, because everything is changing at a rapid face. And then at that age of 28 or the age of 33, there's this pressure, "Oh, I need to be with someone in order to have children," which is completely fine. But what happens is that that's when you end up with that sneaky karmic soulmate, or you do end up with a soulmate, or you end up with a brand new connection, or you end up with some connection. You start a family, and then after 20 years, you realize that there's this huge void in you. And you're like, "Why did I even get together with this person whom I call my husband?" So in that way, you are altering your own destiny based on your own free will, because that was not preordained or decided by you. That happened by chance. You could have made a choice to have not married the person and been single, and to have waited for your twin flame. But again, what is the guarantee? And in another case, your twin flame might have married someone else. So you feel like, "I have to move on," which is also valid. So all these complications tend to happen when you are on earth. And that's why every single thing is a trigger. But the bottom line is, where do these triggers come from? Unhealed trauma, judgment, being unkind to yourself, all this. Another thing is overly focusing on your divine masculine too, instead of focusing on yourself. Oh wow, I know this topic is so intense and it's really interesting. It's quite a nice and cold. I love cold weather, and and yeah, I really enjoy cold weather. Being born and brought up in Singapore, it's always humid, so I'm really enjoying the weather. Anyway, back to the topic. So these triggers are what forms who you are. And the whole journey is about actually coming in terms with the triggers. So if you go down the lane of ignoring these triggers or burying these triggers, you know what happens? You start pushing away your own lessons, and that's when you start making poorer choices because you're doing everything in the motive that I am getting back at my twin or I'm getting back at society. But are you doing it for yourself? Is that what's giving you happiness? For some highly awakened divine feminines, they do make the choice of being with someone else, but they choose that choice not because they're trying to get back at their divine masculine or they're being pressured by their family or friends to settle down or because they're embarrassed for being single, because they feel that I'm on earth, I deserve to be with a partner, I deserve to have a family, and I want to be happy. Just like the movie Hancock. If you guys have watched Hancock, Will Smith, Will Smith and the lady actress, they are both twin flames, but then Hancock kind of like goes away from her life, and then she partners a soulmate, something like that. All right, I'm going to answer Priya's questions. How to balance the masculine and feminine divine energy in us? Okay, how to balance your masculine and divine energy is firstly Reiki healings, Isosachim healings, energy healing with the right healer works because we are able to unblock the blockages in your chakras. But again, how do you maintain them? So once you're in that high vibration, you have to, like, in order to maintain them, you have to have good thoughts, good energies. Nature is a very good place to re-energize. Another thing you could do is that surround yourself in environments that actually elevate your energies. That could be in a loving, kind family environment. It could be with your nephew and nieces for the weekend. It could be going on an adventure with your friends. Being in these high energy places actually helps with transcending your energies and also balancing the masculine and the feminine energies within yourself. Often you may feel like, oh, but you see, the thing is, big there is a massive misunderstanding of what masculine energies and feminine energies are. You see, there's this great misconception in the 21st century that what women do is very masculine, but that's not the truth. If you look at ancient history, women have been the one that have always been holding the family together. So they were always the leaders within the family in itself. If you look at ancient Egyptian photos, you would see how the female is always holding the male like that, you know. And that shows that she will support him no matter what. But and it was the divine feminines or the feminines who always made a lot of decisions. But now it's all like confused. They think that when women go to work, it's a very masculine thing. No, actually, women are living their best lives in the current generation because they have the freedom of choice. They are not they are not forced to do anything. The roles are changing. Men and women's roles have changed drastically since the start of this millennia. Women are no longer confined to the kitchen or confined to non voting means. Everything is becoming equal, even though there could be more equality. But the truth is, it's not even about equality, it's about uniqueness of each person's roles. Once you identify that, you would realize that you would have it all within you. But inherently, when you are female, you have feminine energies. That is what heals and helps build that family environment. So instead of like overthinking about balancing the energies within, whatever you do, when you do it with the fullness of your hearts, you would realize that you are in alignment. And when you're in a relationship, if you notice a lot of struggles and a lot of issues happen in relationship, is because naturally, inherently, one party wants to control the other. So there's a lot of dominance and control. There's no freedom. And that's why these connections don't last. And being a twin flame, that is the biggest thing that you're being taught, to be independent, to actually face your fears by yourself. Often you may feel like, all right, I want to work on my fears, but why can't my divine masculine be with me while I do it? This is a high energy relationship, guys. Like, how are you going to be with it? Like, how are you going to be with fire when you can't handle fire? So that is what divine masculine energies are. You're so welcome, Priya. I hope I'd answered your question. Probably I'll do another live that talks more about that. So back to what I was saying is that when divine feminines actually start working on themselves, everything around them changes. They realize that their older self is no longer there. They're shedding. And they would also realize that what used to trigger them does not trigger them anymore. And the needing to know about their twin flame or what they're doing, where they're going, who they're with, what they're up to doesn't matter anymore because they are focused on living their best life right now in the present. And when that happens, she starts to blossom like a flower, and the beauty gains a lot of attraction and admiration. And that's when you know that that is a big sign that your divine masculine is going to come back into your life. You start embodying virtues such as patience, kindness, unconditional love, peace. Your energies are always at peace. You make very wise decisions. You don't do things to piss off your DM, for instance, or you don't make choices like rushing into another relationship. Everything you do it with the highest intention. You do not let the triggers affect you. And in order to get to that state, it's hard work every day. But again, it's not a journey. It's not something that you're working towards. It's part of the process, and anything can happen because the twin flame journey in itself is extremely unpredictable. you know so all you have is that I know I'm going to be in union with my divine masculine, but I don't know anything else. And that's what your heart is trying to meet with. That means you're trying to grasp this unknown energy, and that's when your faith in God comes in at the right time, because you have no choice but to surrender to your creator. And that's why praying to God, crying out to God, talking to God, all this really helps you in the journey, because it is a divine journey. Of course, there are some people who are not on the journey and they think they're on a twin flame journey, and often that is they're in a karmic connection, or they might be in a brand new connection, or in some other kind of connection, and none of this would quite apply to them. But it would apply to some people who want to be with a high powered soulmate, for instance. Oh, thank you, MJ. And that's why when you come to the point, complete surrender to God, talk to God. There's nothing wrong with talking to God. Like, you can talk to God aloud. That's why religions have this beautiful thing which is called prayer. But you can communicate. God is like your best friend. And when you are in this journey, God is 100% your anchor. Because where else are you going to find that love and guidance to actually stay through the journey? And when all of this matches, when you work on yourself, when you really become this calm and conscious, beautiful, divine feminine, things will transform. And at that point, it would no longer even matter if your twin flame is with you or not, because your twin flame is going to be with you. But what I'm saying, that you won't make poor choices. You won't make choices like rushing into another relationship, for instance. Often the rushing happens is because you're so afraid that there's a certain expiry date, and all of this is valid. As a woman, you know that you're probably only going to be able to have kids till you're 50, so you want to rush this, rush that. But the truth is, when you pray to God and when you seek guidance from the divine, you start getting answers. that everything will be okay and that your divine masculine is actually going to be with you, and all these 3D things wouldn't matter anymore. And that's why triggers, in a way, are actually awakenings. Because if you're not triggered, you won't even know what you need to work on. So, a simple experiment will be a friend comes and tells you, "Hey, I saw your divine masculine, he was partying and having a time of his life." When you are unawakened, you're going to get all angry. You'll be like, "I am here suffering and pining over not being with you, and you are there partying and checking out other women." And that will be, as an unawakened divine feminine, you're going to be so triggered. In fact, you'll be tempted to go and see other guys just to think you're getting back at your divine masculine. But that's not how it works. That is level one. Level two, you just accept, okay, they're having a good time in their lives. You may feel a little jealous, but you will accept that jealousy for what it is, and you will just accept it for the way it is. Level three of awakening will be that you accept it, you're happy for them, you're happy that they are actually going out and not being stuck in their man cave and actually having fun. And level four, it doesn't matter anymore. You're just happy for them. And level five, it doesn't bother you at all because you know that they are coming back to you. And level six, you are in complete zen. It doesn't even have an effect on you because you know you're always together. So they externalizing a particular activity or particular moment is just them expressing their physical body. And when you're fully awakened, you will realize that there's no separation at all and that you are always with your twin flame. And that's when it goes down to the next level where you feel this complete zen. And that's why, guys, 5D communication really changes how you look at the journey. When you start communicating with your twin in 5D, you'll realize that he's always with you. He's literally next to you, sleeping with you, and you never feel like you are in separation at all. He's always watching you. And the beautiful thing about the higher self or the 5D self of your divine masculine is that he's loving, he's nurturing, he's always there to give you the advice, be it anything. And you know that he's always watching over you, especially when you're stressed or when you're affected by 3D notions of life. He's just there. And going on to the next part is that you also start noticing that there's an immense change the way you look at things. When you're at that stage where you have accepted that you're on a twin flame journey and you realize that there's no separation and that everything in this lifetime is just 3D, you start having this internal awakening within you. You notice that you will start being much calmer. You will not be affected by what other people are saying or the pressure that society puts on you. You just start living your own life. You start living your own life. You start doing things that have, you start doing things that inspire you. You start doing things that makes you feel wholesome. And that's when service to humanity comes in. You can do it in any way. You could be helping people, you could go to old folks home, you could go to a children's home, you could go be there engaged in high vibrational activities. And one of those activities will be even going and having a swim in the sea, going for a hike, doing something of meaning. And when you do these things, you'll realize that your vibration is going up, and you would notice that the person you were in the past is no longer relevant to you anymore. And having said that, the more you focus on your journey within, you will realize that transformation, it's not something that you're aiming for, it just happens. And then you will notice that it no longer matters. The triggers no longer matter anymore. Your twin could be doing anything in front of you and you won't be affected at all, because you know that it is his 3D self that is doing everything that he's doing. But then again, it is the yearning that is the trigger, the yearning that you are not there to enjoy that moment with him, or he's not there to enjoy the moment with you. And that is a very, very, very valid feeling. And then again, your life on earth is limited and you want to have the most amount of time you can have with your twin. And you just have this fear that what if there's no time at all? These are all 3D conditionings. 3D conditionings make you believe that everything is limited, everything has to be rushed, everything has to happen in super speed. But it's not going to happen in super speed when you have a lot of pain and unhealed trauma that you have not worked on, or you have not even recognized. A lot of divine feminines do not even acknowledge that they have issues to work on. Another thing, after they've acknowledged it, they don't know how to work on those issues either. That's why I would always recommend, you can always book a session with me to talk about how you can heal. Or I do offer a variety of healings, like the 5D activator is really good and successful because it strengthens your connection with your twin in 5D. But also having a chat, you know, often when I have, like, you could just book one of my psychic Zoom sessions and we can talk about it, what exactly is blocking you from being with your twin, for instance. And then you will notice, layer by layer, when you start healing, when you start acknowledging, when you start to transcend, everything will be in alignment, and you will start seeing how divine is playing a great role in your life. Like, God will literally send your twin flame to you. You could bump into him in a mall. There could be an opportunity for you to see him in a social event, or he may just pop up back into your life like there was no distance at all. Yes, the yearning is a tough one. And the yearning in itself can become quite addictive, because then you go into that state of, like, you see, there are two sides of yearning. One is obsessiveness and one is yearning. Yearning is pure feeling that you want to be with your twin. Obsessiveness is like you don't want him to be with anyone else, which is impossible. So when you work from that level of pure yearning, you start to notice that everything aligns, because you are literally communicating with God and saying that I want to be with my twin, and I am okay to wait. I am trusting your guidance 100% in this journey. And that's when you will start seeing miracles happening. That's why, guys, when you walk away from God, you will realize that everything else becomes extremely challenging in the journey. When you walk towards God, you will realize that everything is transforming at perfect timing. But of course, the yearning is a tough one, and the trigger happens to every single divine feminine. And again, you don't have to force yourself to awaken either, because you're here to enjoy Earth. You're here to experience the illusion, the beautiful illusion that surrounds us, and how beautiful the world is, and how amazing things are. And slowly you will realize that once you have that wonder and you start enjoying life, things starts to transform as well. And again, a big thing that happens when you're on a twin flame journey is that your ego is in check. You no longer operate from the level of ego, because when you operate from the level of ego, you realize that things start to fall out of place. But when you operate from the point of unconditional love, everything transforms. And then you realize that every single day in your life is a miracle, and every single moment in your life is transformational too. Having said that, I've almost talked for 45 minutes. If you guys have any questions, and we can soon wrap up. So, we were talking about how 3D triggers affect divine feminines a lot, and what are some ways and strategies to cope with these triggers. Number one is recognition of these triggers. Number two is accepting that it's okay to feel not okay, and third, working with these triggers and seeing where they come from, and often they come from unhealed trauma, and fourthly, choosing the right kind of healer or right kind of help, or you could completely surrender to God and start your healing journey as well. So yes, I know this topic is a interesting one and an intense one, and I know it would truly benefit you guys. And I can go on talking about this and how much acknowledgement and transformation can really, really help. Thank you, Belinda. I'm going to note down this scope. Yes, of course, this video is available. You guys can note down all the strategies that I've been um, teaching you guys in these videos and every other videos that I do every week. Most important thing is you know when you are in alignment or out of alignment. When you are in alignment, you notice that things start to fall in place. When you're out of alignment, everything around you starts to fall out of place. For instance, you may have planned to do this, but then there'll be a change of plans, and then you'll be affected by that, and you'll be hurt by that, and then you will go on feeling affected. You'll be like, why? Why is this happening to me? But when you start accepting everything as a grace of God, and when you start living a life of gratitude, you will realize that things transform around you as well. So you shift your mindset from a limited mindset to a infinite mindset. You'll realize that everything falls in place. A lot of downfalls happen because of your belief that everything is limited. Even in your twin flame journey, you keep thinking that you're limited in time, you're limited in life, but you're not. You're infinite. You are with your twin flame forever. When there is forever, what is this time on earth ever have relevance to begin with? That's why once you start living a life of gratitude, prayer, and enjoying every single moment, everything will transform. You will become this abundance magnet in your life, and you will start seeing life in itself with beautiful eyes. And that's when you know you have arrived. You've arrived in living your best and full life. And you do not, you know, in the early stages, twin flames, after meeting their divine masculine and they go through separation, they go into the dark night of the soul, which I've done a video about. They become so affected that they can't even go to work or do anything. They cannot move on to do their day to day activities. It is like it is like going without food for 3 days. You just want to numb all the pain. That's what happens. And look at you, how far you guys have come from being there. And now it's all about Zen. And slowly you'll realize that life starts changing. And wow, you see, there's a nice sunrise. I think I can't show you the sunrise. Yeah, and you will slowly notice that things starts to transform, and then you will notice that everything will okay, I wanted to show you guys the sunrise, but it's a very cloudy day. Yeah, and then slowly things will fall in alignment. Important thing is, even healing is not a destination. It's not like ticking some boxes. It's about being present and being able to accept who you are. Often the ego would not even allow you to accept who you are. That's why it's so vital to fully focus on where you are at the moment and how far you can grow from the moment. It's all about growth and spiritual evolution, with or without your twin. And even when I say with or without your twin is with you all the time. If you are on a true, real twin flame journey, or when you are in a real twin flame journey, your twin is with you 100% wherever you are. Because he's literally you in another body, but his soul is with you and you are with him. So there is no separation at all. And when you can't see that, you realize that you're still stuck in the 3D matrix. But recognition and acknowledgement of that is key to transformation. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up for today. So, do you guys have any more questions? I feel like you guys have been interestingly listening. So, yes, when you're an awakened, fully embodied divine feminine, you will notice that everything in your life changes. And again, you can't force awakening either, it's a state of being. Of course, healings help, activations help, a lot of these things help, but it is you who choose to accept it too. I know a lot of y'all probably have fallen asleep because it's like 2 a.m. in the US and evening time in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, and it's morning time in Europe. So, yeah. So, guys, if you guys need a private session, you can always book a psychic Zoom session. Of course, you don't have to do it by Zoom, you can do it by Messenger as well. It's just that I've started calling them that. You can always have a chat with me. You could also book any of my healings if you're interested. You can always message me to find out more. And I would heavily recommend getting a soul report. Even the mini soul report is really long, it's 13, 14 pages. And of course, it takes a while for me to do the reports because I do it 100%. I channel the information, and it takes a while to, if it's a written report. But then also now I offer this option of doing it as a live channeling as well. So you book a reading, I'll give you the option to do it live. So I'll do it via Messenger or Zoom, and in that way, you will be able to, listen it, hear it from me live as well. You can ask me questions right on there. Yeah, I would heavily recommend a soul report if it's a good investment. And also healings. I would definitely recommend the activator. 5D activator works wonders. And I've had so many divine feminines who have felt a great, immense difference after the activation, and it really helps. Oh well, Belinda, M is so in love with you. There's so much romantic energies that is going on, and he loves you a lot, and he will do everything he can to ensure that you are treated like the queen in his life, like literally. So you will experience more and more beautiful moments together. All right. Are there anyone else who wants to have like a very short channeling? This is your time. All right. All right, guys. And Sanila, so good to see you. Hope everything is well. And Karen, you're so welcome. I'm so glad I was able to do that Zoom with you. All right. Is there anything from Anders? So, Therese, Anders wants you to know that things are stagnant because he feels like both of you are not looking at your innermost fears. So there's still a lot of work that you both can do. And he is really working hard on himself and trying to grow as a person. So he wants you to know, he wants you to hang in there. For Linda, Darren wants you to know that he will always be there for you energetically and hopefully physically in the future, and that he loves you a lot. Sanila, your DM wants you to know that things will get better, and he's got this deep conflict in his mind as to what he feels for you, but his higher self is always there assuring you that what you share is very unique. Oh, thank you, Bharati, but I'm here for work, so I will try to enjoy my time. um Clara, any message from Toby? Toby wants you to know that things are shaping up and everything is going to flow, and things will start shifting, and you will start realizing that you no longer have the need to worry because things will fall in place. Oh, Amber. Okay, James wants you to know that he's really working very hard on himself and he needs more time to actually release issues that has been holding him, and he hopes you do the same because then when you guys get together everything will be in alignment. Karen says good night to you all, and Therese says thank you, Sunny. You're most welcome. I'll probably see you guys again. I am around. I'll try to work another timing for next week. Yeah, but yeah, guys, the one thing is I love sunrises any part of the world, and I also feel like you guys need to take that moment to enjoy every moment in your life, even when things feel like there's no hope in life anymore. Just pray to the divine and trust the universe that everything will fall in place. Belinda, this has been so helpful today. I really appreciate the lives you do. Today's topic was exactly what I need. Oh, you're most welcome, Belinda. I was thinking, in fact, I came up with this topic like less than 16 hours ago, and I thought, wow, this is so relevant and it's so necessary because a lot of you all are facing those triggers. And often these topics are not really talked about either. But again, guys, I'll try to get all these lives together so that it's easier to assess them. For now, you can assess them under videos. But again, it's like you gotta find the videos. So I'll try to create a playlist. But it takes a while and I'm so overwhelmed with work. And the thing is, um, when you're traveling and you have work, it's like that responsibilities increase. So it's and that's the thing. But I really enjoy, you know, doing what I do for you guys. It is such an honor, and it's always such a joy doing readings, healings, everything for you all. And that's why no matter what, I still keep doing these readings even though time is what I wish I had more. Kelly, this is an amazing life. Thank you so much. So much resonated from oh, I'm so glad. Clara, you're welcome. Amber, you're welcome. So guys, if you guys need a live channeling reading, you can always DM me for a private reading or a healing or anything you want. I can customize it for you as well. And hope you guys are having a great time. And this new moon can be quite a trigger, so don't worry. And Mercury retrograde is going to be over soon. Just hang in there, guys, another 8 more days. And also, um, this new moon can be high. It's going to be high alert. It's going to be a major trigger. You may feel like you're releasing a lot. You're releasing a lot of old stuff, like things that don't serve you any longer. And yes, just hang in there. Everything will be good. Love you all as always. I will see you all next week. And I hope this timing was all right. But again, I know a lot of you watch this video after. So all the best. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys are all resting and taking care of yourself. I know it's September, it's going to be October soon. Time flies. But everything will be all right. Take care. Love you all. And happy Sunday to all of you. And happy, not so happy, depends. A very fulfilling and nurturing new moon. Before I go, there's this exercise that you could do during new moon. Like write down all your wishes, and try to energize it under the night sky. It also works for new moon and full moon. So this is a good time to actually set your goals and intentions for the month. And you will definitely see a difference. All right, guys, take care. Love you all. And I will definitely try to post more channelings on my page. Take care and have a good one. Bye bye.